You're joining us from. Here we are. Believe it or not, here we are, folks. We're getting some problems with Facebook. What's happening with Facebook? How are you folks doing out there? Are you guys seeing us? Denlon and all the other folks. You're seeing us on Facebook. One more time. One more time. One more time for all the lovelies. All right, there we go. There we go. We can pull it back. How you all doing? Today, wasting no time. Azruddin Mohammed, businessman, presidential hopeful, philanthropist, Azruddin Mohammed had a court appearance at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Yep. He had an appearance there. Look, take a look, take a listen. How that went down. Wasting no time. Heading right to take a look, take a listen.
Mohammed of Mohammed's Enterprise appeared in court today to answer charges pertaining to the evasion of customs duty on high-end vehicles. The charge stemmed from what the government said was information released by the United States government.
We are facing a lot of battles, but so far we are winning them. I will promise the people of this country that I will win this battle for them. Also upstairs in court, when I looked at the desk, I saw the three holy books, the Bible, the Quran, and the Islam. And when I looked at the Quran, I remembered Irfan Ali right away as a Muslim brother to another Muslim.
He had a harsh description of this Muslim brother. He said that the Quran teaches that it's a great sin when it comes to backbiting.
Irfan Ali is nothing more than a dishonest and dishonorable person. I have proof where Irfan Ali facilitated and assisted with the clearance of the Lamborghini. I'm waiting for him to say that that is a lie.
Earlier, he had said that President Irfan Ali had been made aware of the importation of the vehicles. Azruddin Mohammed said that anytime the president denies his role in the importation of the vehicles, he would reveal the facts. The government, using the information from the United States, also accused the Mohammeds of avoiding taxes on gold exports.
All right, let's talk about this gold. I think the fit person, as it relates to this 10,000 kilograms of gold, is Barajat. Because every week at his press conference, he would talk, he know two figures well, 10,000 kilograms and 75,300 for the Lamborghini. Which in before I bought this Lamborghini, I called Jagdeo and said I want to meet with you. He said, come now to the convention center. That is in August, September. I told him I want to purchase a Lamborghini. He said, go to Irfan and talk to Irfan. That is what he told me. I met with him at the convention.
He said that at his press conferences, Vice President Jagdeo keeps accusing the Mohammeds of smuggling 10,000 kilograms of gold out of Guyana.
If someone smuggled 10,000 kilograms of gold out of Guyana, 10,000 kilograms of gold, right? You think it's easy to smuggle all this gold out of this country if someone did it? Most senior government officials have to know about these things.
But what about this done over a period of time?
Huh?
What about it being done over a period of time?
You just can't ship gold out of the country like that. It's a process. The Minister of Natural Resources got to sign off. GRA.
The period 2015 to 2020 was one when, according to Azruddin, no one wanted to be seen with either Irfan Ali or Bharat Jagdeo.
No, from 2015 to 2020, no one wanted to be seen with Ali and Jagdeo. No one. They would call me to ask me if Tiwari got a birthday party. Hey, the man and invite me by. See who's at that party. They used to be by themselves. I was the only one there for them.
When Azruddin left the court via the chute, he was in handcuffs. It was reminiscent of the attempt to arrest Paul Slow in the courtyard when he turned up for court. Mohammed had already been placed on bail. The handcuffs were seen as a political move by the government. Mohammed was charged under the Summary Jurisdiction Act. Attorney Darren Wade explained the implications.
Summary matters should be instituted within 6 months of the alleged offenses. The charge stated that these offenses allegedly transpired in 2020, which is way beyond the 6 months period. These charges are barred in law. It is very clear. A magistrate is a creature of statute, and this charge ought not to be instituted or not have been instituted.
He said that there have been cases of the police charging people indictably, then seeking to convert those cases for summary trial.
Mr. Mohammed has pleaded as ready, and these matters, as far as I concern in relation to the law, are dead. They are bad in law.
Attorney Damien De Silva contoured with Wade's contention. He explained the reason for allowing the charges to be read despite the matters outside the statute's limitations.
There is an issue in the Customs Act that speaks about a 7-year period of enforcement, and the court has to decide whether that applies to civil proceedings or criminal proceedings.
There you have it. Yeah. Lots happened today. That's the fast version. We're going to slow it down and we're going to come back to some of that. Yeah. We all are once in this country, folks. Every day is excitement. But good to see so many of you on the live. Everett and Roxanne and Penelope and Mandy and Yolanda, Samantha. Somebody say Pim Pim. Pim Pim. Yeah, pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. Pim Pim. Folks, what a day it was. What a day it was. And while that was happening, Guyana, you had other things happening, folks. In other parts of the world, while that was happening at home, you had other things happening abroad. Please and thank you. We can circle back to some of that. You don't worry. You don't worry. He watched the Quran. He said, remember. I remember Irfan, businessman, presidential hopeful, Azuri Muhammad. He said, I had some thoughts in my head. You know? If I think about book and people, I want to tell him in the head of the book. He said, how you could do that to a Muslim brother. Muslim brother. So we have that occupying our time locally. Eating up the day, folks. Getting into Jagdeo's head. Jagdeo was so flustered today. He was so vacant. You know? Them boys worried, you know. I don't care what the internal polls say. Adele and Ajab. I don't care what the internal polls say. You don't know until you know. The polls have said a lot of things in 2015 too. Until you see those numbers, you don't know. You got polls, you just got a snapshot. Right? He was asked about the polls at his press conference. He said, ask the PNC about their own. But this is a man who knows everything. Deborah, he know he cook Valme. Samantha. I hear a second autopsy's out. Well, hold on, man. As you are not. Let us take some of what? As I said, that's what I was screwing for. To talk about this Adriana Young autopsy and rather the Adrian Young investigation. Let's take the second part first. The investigation. As you know, Travis Chase of HGP Nightly News, I think they leave up the TV now, is in Atlanta and spoke today with attorney Dexter Todd, senior attorney on this matter, pursuing this case on behalf of the Young family. He spoke to him about this investigation that they've said have come to a conclusion locally. He said, hold on. That's what he said. I swear to God. He said, hold on. Not so fast. Oh no, brown cow. Take a look, take a listen. Some of what Dr. Dexter Todd told Travis Chase in Atlanta, Georgia today. Take a look.
Second autopsy is also an opportunity to get more information. We are not at this stage going to preempt what the results will be. The police, they have an obligation under the law to investigate and not to refuse any information in the investigative process. So where the police is preparing to submit a file for advice at the Director of Public Prosecution's office, I believe it's in the public's domain by now that a review or a second autopsy is going to be conducted. And that also is information that the police, of course, must take into consideration. And at the appointed time, when the results are available from whatever tests to be conducted are all completed and are available, those will also be submitted to the police. It is not for the police to reject anything at this stage and to say that we have closed investigations and we will not accept information coming now. I know I've read a lot of information in the press in relation to the expert or the investigator has found no evidence. And I'm saying, when did that become a new order of the laws in Guyana in relation to someone saying we found no evidence? I remind the authorities that the only authority on the law to determine what is evidence is the court of law. The police gather information. They submit to the Director of Public Prosecutions for assessment. The Director of Public Prosecution goes through the assessment to determine whether there is enough to prefer a charge before a court of law, but not to determine what is evidence or not. And therefore, they are also in the process of gathering information. This is a process of gathering information. And so I see no reason or any law that will allow the police not to accept the information. Mind you, I'm saying we are not going to preempt, because we would accept, and of course we have come with the understanding that this is an independent pathologist who is going to give an objective opinion. Whether it confirms with the three pathologists or whether it goes against is entirely up to this pathologist, who we, of course, accepted to bring this case to.
Do you find it strange that the family of Adriana Young is not yet in possession of the first report?
This request was made in relation to the preliminary. I believe the posture was that they were not going to release the preliminary report to the family, and we have accepted that. We found it very strange that as soon as this body arrived in the United States for a second autopsy, that this final report was disclosed.
Yeah. Dr. Dexter Todd, attorney at law, the family's attorney on this matter, talking with Travis Chase there in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were made to understand just moments ago that the Gwinnett County office and the chief medical examiner of the Gwinnett, I hope I'm calling it right, county office there in Atlanta, Georgia, he is saying, she is saying that I would be reluctant to determine that Adriana Young drowned. I would be reluctant to determine that Adriana Young drowned. This calls for a thorough criminal investigation. This is according to the chief medical examiner there at the, I think is either Gwinnett or it could be Gwinnett County Office. The G could be silent. Forgive me, folks, if we don't get it right. But that is what Travis Chase is stating there. And we, as soon as we see them put out that video, we're going to try to get it and air it here as well. But that is what we're learning. Again, the chief medical examiner in the Gwinnett County's office there in Atlanta, Georgia, said, I would be reluctant to determine that Adriana Young drowned. This calls for a thorough criminal examination. And that is what we have at this time. As soon as we have more from our brother Travis Chase, we're going to put it out here as well. But I want us to turn your attention back to the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where so much action happened today, folks. So much action happened today. I want to take you to the broader statement of our senior counsel Darren Wade, and also the lawyer for Asruddin Mohammed, one of the attorneys rather for Asruddin Mohammed, speaking to reporters there as well. Damian De Silva, attorney at law, Damian De Silva, speaking to Asruddin, speaking to this matter, both himself and attorney at law Darren Wade, today at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
Summary Procedure Criminal Act is very clear. Summary matters should be instituted within 6 months of the alleged offenses. The charge stated that these offenses allegedly transpire in 2020, which is way beyond the 6 months period. These charges are barred in law. It is very clear. A magistrate is a creature of statute, and these charges ought not to be instituted or not have been instituted. They are barred in law. That's my respectful opinion. I believe the court understand our arguments. You journalists are in the court from several days and you understand what is summary matter, what's an indictable matter. And the case, they are barred in law. The law is very clear. And the courts over hundreds of years has ruled in relation to what a magistrate can and cannot do as per statute, and what are summary and what are indictable matter. This matter came beyond a 6 months period. What should have happened as I see some police abuse process, they institute it indictably and then convert it summarily. This charge is just, it's bad in law. Mr. Mohammed has pleaded as ready, and these matters, as far as I concern in relation to the law, are dead. They are bad in law.
What is your
Thank you.
concern in relation to the 7-year period by GRE to come after
That law is not relevant. Those laws are not relevant.
Yes, I do believe the charges are there. There's a jurisdiction issue, a limitation issue, in fact. The 6 months have expired since the filing of these charges. So we believe strongly in our submissions, and we have granted our submit on the 26th of this month. We have 3 weeks to do so. So we're confident in our legal position, and we believe that these charges are dead. So we're looking forward to the magistrates ruling on the matter once we provide our submissions. We believe this matter is dead.
Why did you allow the charges to be read first in the first place if you believe that the charges are dead and are a violation of the period?
Well, there is an issue in the Customs Act that speaks about a 7-year period of enforcement, and the court has to decide whether that applies to civil proceedings or criminal proceedings. So it's a matter it's an issue in the act that has to be deciphered.
Tell us a bit about the submissions that the two sides now have to make, considering the arguments put today.
Very well. So essentially 6 months from the date of the charge seems to have expired. So we have to now put forward submissions to prove that because of the summary offense, the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction to hear the matter because of the limitation period. So we are pretty confident in those submissions. We will make them.
You went at length to explain the process of acquiring this vehicle, the taxes paid and declared, and the extent, well, the delays in bringing the charges. Could you just provide us with a synopsis of what was actually said in court today with regards to your client?
In relation to what, sorry?
Oh, you went at length to explain to the court the matter as you see it, as your client see it. I'm just asking you for a synopsis for those of us who are not in the court.
Yes. So I told the court that I mentioned the High Court proceedings in relation to the Lamborghini as well, because that is going on simultaneously with these proceedings. And what I pointed out to the court was the GR's conduct in the handling of that matter and how it led to this matter. So that was essentially showing the court GR's conduct as it relates to everything in relation to these vehicles and the matter. Now, again, this matter is before the High Court. Now, Mr. Mohammed is asking declarations in that matter that the actions of GRA are legal. Now, this has led us to these proceedings. Now, today, we are able to now put forward arguments to have the matter dismissed as opposed to go to trial for the limitation period. Right? So, we feel confident in our submissions. We will put those before the court, and the court will rule on the matter.
We notice that the charges are in relation to a single vehicle.
Yes.
Do you know that if there are other charges coming up?
Not that I know of, but I don't expect other charges to be coming. I only know of the Lamborghini Roadster.
Okay, so your client has been placed on $250,000 bail for each.
For each offense, yes.
It's 500. Is he
500.
posting bail right now?
Yes, he's paying that bail with now obtaining a magistrate. Not to pay that. It has to be paid by magistrate. Anything over 400,000 has to be paid by magistrate.
Yeah. That bail was posted. $500,000 bail was posted by businessman and presidential hopeful Azruddin Mohammed. The bail was posted today, and Mr. Azruddin walked out of courts out of those handcuffs. And you heard folks saying, that it was necessary. It was necessary, but the government wanted to make a point. They wanted to make a point, but I think the script was flipped. And Mr. Mohammed himself engaged the media, as you heard early on, for the opener, engaged the media. And now we want to give you that broader statement from businessman Azruddin Mohammed, who made an appearance, as I said, before the Georgetown Magistrates Court just this morning. Take a look, take a listen to what he told the media as they converged, as he emerged from the court. Take a look, take a listen.
First of all, I would like to give thanks and praise to God Almighty. We are facing a lot of battles, but so far we are winning them. I will promise the people of this country that I will win this battle for them. Also upstairs in court, when I looked at the desk, I saw the 3 holy books: the Bible, the Quran, and the Gita. And when I looked at the Quran, I remembered Irfan Ali right away as a Muslim brother to another Muslim brother. It's such a great sin when it comes to backbiting and stabbing your own Muslim brother in the back. It's like eating the flesh of your dead brother. That's a verse in the Holy Quran. Irfan Ali is nothing more than a dishonest and dishonorable person. I have proof where Irfan Ali facilitated and assisted with the clearance of the Lamborghini. I'm waiting for him to say that that is a lie. And trust me, anytime he comes out and says it's a lie, I'll show the whole country how dishonorable he is.
You have proof?
I have proof, sir.
But Mr. Mohammed, why not wait until he denies?
Let him come out and say he did it. I have the proof.
Yeah, you heard it there. He said he has the proof. He has. Even please say it's a lie. For the rest of us who invested in this, even we're asking you, from this group of concerned citizens on this side, please say it's a lie. But interestingly enough, folks, we saw Irfan Ali put out a missive today in which he is saying, if Azruddin Mohammed has the real invoice for the vehicle, let him put it out there. It's quite a what is the word? It is quite a weird phrasing, right? What's the term I'm looking for? The phraseology is very, very weird. If he has something to that effect, I'm trying to make sure that I'm accurate. We don't want to slander anybody. We don't want to libel anybody unnecessarily, if at all. But that was kind of the weird phrasing that they undertook today. If you got the real, that's what he said. we didn't say it. That's what he said. Let me ensure that it happened. Let me ensure that it happened. He said, if you got the real thing, right? Bring it. Rock will come in. It was a weird way to put things. Because, of course, we started asking some questions. We started asking some questions, if I can put it in that way. Here's what Irfan says. He says, show the proof that you give me the real invoice. I mean, who says things like that? Show me the proof that you give me the real invoice. And so you might have seen I had some comments with social media because I mean real or fake invoice. Show me the real invoice. Now it got me thinking, right? It got me thinking, like for instance, how many invoices, real or fake, concerning GRA matters have people been given to Irfan? Right? I asking for myself, real or fake, how many invoices have people been giving to President Irfan Ali concerning matters at the GRA? Again, we didn't say these words. Irfan Ali said them. And I'm certain some of you might find it weird. What is he saying here? What does he mean by this? If you got the real thing, it's kind of weird, the phrasing of it. If you, which would indicate to an extent, look, it's there. Finally got it. Show proof you give me the real invoice. You see that? You know that? Show the proof you give me the real invoice. So there's a fake one too? I'm not too, y'all have me. What's your interpretation? I know y'all way smarter than me. What is your interpretation of what's being said there? Show the proof you give me and that's why we ask the question. Has he been involved in receiving invoice from folks and perhaps calling up GRA? Have folks passed money to him, for instance, for that kind of service? We just asking questions out here, and we're allowed to do that. Edward, Ron, what do you think, Deborah Pearson, Debs, Everil? This is newsroom. Show proof you give me the real. So something, a fake invoice was given? Was a fake invoice given? Right? Because I would suppose somebody would say, show proof you give me. You and I had a conversation on this matter. And as you heard there, Ashuddin Mohammed did go on to say that look, this thing is believable from this angle. It is believable from this angle.
As we continue to bring you live updates here.
Apologies.
In Georgia.
Apologies there. Yeah.
Second autopsy.
Just jumping in. Father have mercy. Some people are precocious. I just wanna make this point. Right? We're not making this stuff up. You remember in that insert we played with Ashuddin Mohammed, speaking to that scrum of reporters. He makes a point. He said, I met with Jagdeo at the Chung Conference Center, and Jagdeo told me to call Irfan. Doesn't that sound the way this thing works? Everybody in this country knows where the real power lies. In that so, Theo? Annalisa Lovely Queen. I hope it neighbors in nature. Right? I hope it's not misrepresentation. Annalisa Lovely Queen. George and Melanie. He said he went to Jagdeo first. And Jagdeo said talk to the Vice President, Irfan Ali. Talk to my Vice President, my Prime Minister, Irfan Ali. That sounds like the way the thing works. He said Irfan Ali was instrumental in getting the thing clear. That's what he said. And then Irfan, Luan and Des and all of you beautiful folks comes back with this retort. Show proof. You give me the real invoice for the Lamborghini. This doesn't sound like a denial that Irfan and the businessman had a conversation about the importation of the Lamborghini. But of course, you heard the businessman say, the presidential hopeful say, that let Irfan deny it. Come on, Irfan, don't let us down tonight. Not tonight. Please and thank you. He said, let him deny it. Right? Let him deny it. I think he called him a crook and a number of things. And you notice when you notice there when Ashuddin Mohammed was speaking, his father was in the background. I'm not permitted to quote. What is the term when you're quoting directly? Verbatim. That's Latin. I can't say verbatim, but he called him. How do I put it gently? Could it be put gently? Nazar Shal Muhammad encountered Bordness. I never see Bordness come down to low grade, all this bombast and so on. He pulled in a corner with his You know, I don't want to be unkind to him. He had his fair share today. But I see like Borness full up. You know, reminds me of the chief education officer full up after Shell Nazar Mohammed ripped him to shreds. He said, "You're ungrateful, Nimakarang." Call him a couple other things I'm not permitted to repeat here. He said, "We fed you when you were hungry. Look after you. Look what you did to us. You're ungrateful." Pinky, Rosie know the whole thing, eh? Rose, Pierre. I figure Jagdeo don't know the real low lives in this. Jagdeo got no. He don't know the real low lives. He say, I feed you with my hand. Look what you do. Critics is real out of place. If you know you do things to people, oh, pull a little car in them and tuck in there. You got asking questions. You got anything to say? But y'all continue. You notice how the whole pack of them fall in 2015? Here's how the whole pack, y'all continue, go brave. Go down the road. God don't like ugly. And you see what y'all do to this girl, Adriana Young? God have mercy on y'all souls. You see what y'all do to this young lady? God have mercy on your souls. It wasn't right. And then y'all say, oh, bury she done gone. She wasn't cattle. And again, reading what Travis put out here, what the chief we want to make sure y'all hearing us clear. Folks sing song. Listen now, hold on, we right here. we right here. Listen now. They descend on the Mohammeds now because he felt embarrassed. He descend on the Mohammeds with police. He going to lock up the man because he felt threatened. We so thin in this place. And that is bad. That is bad, boys. I learned and I've told you this. Fellas said the art of politics is giving blows and taking blows. Right? A man call your name. You go to the police. And you's a bad man. You was on a show shouting down at people. And I wish this man with my own eye pull him like a sleeper awake. You all know that plan? Sleeper awake, soon as you touch it, it fall up. Huh? Sensitive to touch. Pull in, sir. Now you got for police. That was your time to challenge the man. The man say ungrateful. They lend you all the money you never pay back. Huh? Ungrateful. That's what he said. You got enough for police. Huh? If I respond to everything people tell me with police every day, I can't do this work, you know. He got for police. That's how you know them. That's how you know them. You know, the real people, the real folks. That is how you recognize them. That's how you identify them. They play bad in one thing and then baps, they're gone. Baps, they're gone. Well, that was happening. You see how many things happening today? Second autopsy, court matter, corner shop show. Corner shop show. As you done in the head, run free. As you did in Jagdeo head, run free. You know, the last time I saw Jagdeo, this What's the term? Y'all give me some adjectives. Rattled. Sug. Sugen. Who sue? Hearing Jagdeo talking about their internal polls in the party, but you can't produce the numbers. Yeah, we don't know what numbers. We don't talk with numbers. You know, I'm happy for some of y'all. I'm happy for some of y'all. I saw somebody, Jacobs, endorse them. You know, I have never associated Mr. Jacobs with anybody else but the PPP. You got to be so starved for endorsements that people who supported you for the last 5 years got to give you an endorsement that is still supporting you. Like, where's this? Where's this really, man? Right? Where is this? Where is the intrigue there? This one. Where's the surprise? In this one, some Jacobs, and you gotta get the article saying somebody Jacobs supporting you now. You know, when Jagdeo, on his own volition, told us about the power of these endorsements.
Like I said before, Taylor Swift got millions of people, maybe even more than President Trump. She said, vote for Kamala Harris. What happened? Nobody translated.
Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala. We're Kamala there now. It's amazing that they're putting all this stock in endorsements. It's with Jacobs. Y'all know these things faster. You know? Y'all know these things faster. Somebody Jacobs has endorsed. You get a whole article. Me see the article yet. I've endorsed the APNU AFC coalition as the next government. I ain't seen my article yet in Chronicle. I ain't seen my, and you can see, right? Tomorrow, Bardness gonna endorse. Bardness gonna, I endorse them. And then you zoom do a big spread and so on. Oh my God, Bardness is endorsed. We know we are there. We're not surprised by any of it. The man himself said, don't put no stocks and no endorsement.
Like I said before, Taylor Swift got millions of people, maybe even more than President Trump. She said, vote for Kamala Harris. What happened? Nobody translated.
Didn't translate in a victory. Taylor Swift got, how much followers Jacobs got? Right? How much followers Jacob got? Taylor Swift got millions of followers. It didn't translate into nothing for Kamala Harris. You see the hypocrisy there? You see the hypocrisy there? You see it? Audrey? Oh, this is a con artist. Andrew Griffith, Allison, John and Amjon, Siobhan, Wenda, Samantha, Asha. Call her artist. Right? But as I said, Azrin Mohammed, businessman, the man who wants to supplant Irfan, would that be poetic justice? Would that be poetic justice? But you know, Guyanese different. Let's take a pin. Guyanese different. Azrin Mohammed coming out of court. Guyanese, like a picture now. Like a picture. People kiss that hand. Like a picture now. And people say Irfan could get 19 fraud charges and still sit down, shift the right charge of Paul Drive. You know, anything is possible in this country. You know, I see some people in the court, like a picture that Ashwin did. Ashwin like a picture. The man just come out the handcuffs. Yeah. And then I see some people got some comments with handcuffs. You going through your own trial and tribulation. Somebody said, look how we cute now. You know, I'd like to tree down. Guy is just different. I'd like to tree down. Eh? He in the handcuff. I never had any handcuff. You know? And never had any handcuff. He'd be the first. Yeah. you going through trials and tribulation. Huh? You got a nice bow for the look, you know. Folks, you're all the focus, but all the focus. Please and thank you. But again, I'm just making the point of how Azudin is in Jagdeo's hand. I can't play all of it for you, right? But I heard the man cussing out on the press conference. He now go vex, you know, because this thing was to be a great shame for businessman Azudin Mohammed. This appearing before the magistrate's court is hand in handcuffs. You all know how Rihanna made showing out your pregnancy tummy a thing, showing out your belly. How Rihanna before you see Rihanna, you see the belly, just there, always in the way. That handcuff thing can become a thing here. I can see some people saying, "Put me in the lockup, come, handcuff me." Yeah, choke me time up. You know, put the handcuff, come. That could become a thing, right? Choke time up. Put the handcuff, come. Who no? Who no? Choke me a little bit. Put the handcuff. That could become it. No, some of you are weird like that. Robo Cotiende. Robo. Choke me a little bit. Some of you are weird. Man, when she tries and travails, you know, all your women are easy. You think some of y'all aren't here supporting, you know? You're looking at some of y'all too thirsty with it. Ask the Lord to keep you, man. You know? Turn around 2 times and say hallelujah, and head to your bed, drink a little porridge. Stay out of trouble. Eat butt sick, kinky stuff, you know? Kinky stuff. You think everybody in the life support you the kind of way? No. Catchy, trade down. Yeah, make a man tonight. Women different, you know. Women different. I agree with what Sylvester Stallone once said. Women is the last frontier to be conquered. We will conquer space. And we ain't any closer understanding how beautiful women are. We ain't any closer. But we only show crossing up. Listen, I see hold on. All right, the Glasgow session, leave politics and just go into comedy. Listen, I understand how stressful this country is, you know. It's helping out. Right? This is how we register despair. This is how we register with frustration. You know? As you only said, and I just laugh it off. That's it. Glasgow. Miss Glasgow, that's what I just try to help out, y'all. Because I know if I hear your pressure gone up. Right? I know if I'm not here, Rena, you walk across the road, you tell your neighbor, you're an ungrateful dog, you know. From my hand, I feed you like a stray dog. You're an ungrateful dog, you. If I'm not here, then I'm the only thing holding some of y'all back. I'm the only thing that got some of y'all tethered, Ivan and Pam and Bantu. Huh? Bantu? I know you go to the X. You're a grateful dog, you. Folks. So we there, taking a detour. I'm allowed, it's me show. We there. I got the mic now, talking to Mr. Mohammed, father, Nazar Shal Mohammed. Mohammed is coming down the court step. So, everybody can swing the attention now. Everybody can swing the attention now. And behind me, you're not in the ring. Behind me, I hearing Azudin Father sin. You want to ask me questions? Huh? You want to ask me questions? You's any journalist? You ungrateful dog. I never felt so torn in my life. You know? You ever had a man squeeze on a side chick? I've never felt so torn. I want to have the action, but I want to catch this action. I said, I look into the other reporters to see if they're making a move because this is really, you ungrateful dog. I want to make a beeline here. You could see you could see when the reporters started talking to Ajudin, right? It's his father in the background, letting him have it, laying it out to him. Right? Listen back. Listen back again. It's your father here in the background. I want to, you're grateful. First time in my life, I wish I had a second camera in my hands. Both of them, you covering live in real time. Listen when Azrael starts talking. You can hear his father. His father is directly behind me, distracting me.
First of all, I'd like to give thanks and praise to God Almighty. We are facing a lot of battles, but so far we are winning them. I will promise the people of this country that I will win this battle for them. Also upstairs in court.
Sorry, you heard that? Messing up the whole thing. So this action, we mind you. We mind is all expensive food. Got a big bone like that. You see? All the foreign food. Fertilizer got the big bones up. I'm great. We mind you. I was distracted. No. Your boy Jagdeo says, this man, he's not a threat to us. He ain't no threat to we. We ain't afraid of them. 1 hour. He talking about Muhammad in this press conference. He talking about when Muhammad went to school, when he was a child, when he stopped breastfeeding. 1 hour. He's an Azrael Muhammad. And then Muhammad is so much that he said, he abusing down everybody, cussing out everybody. No, there's a media outlet called the Guyana Standard. Now, these are some very, very industrious, bright young women. They do journalism, their own way, their own unique style. A lot of it covers the work of the PPP. A lot of it. Over the weekend, I saw an editorial, right, by the Guyana Standard that says, Norton the right. Listen me out. Norton the right to walk out on the PPP from the last parliamentary sitting when they wanted the support of the opposition for the motion on Venezuela. Conveniently. And Norton said, fed up with your promises. Outside, take one. Take a couple. Walk to the National Assembly. This editorial says Norton was right to walk out on them. Right? Hear me out. That was the header for the article and the subtitle. Now, you know what they said to me? After I heard in the PP press conference, I see lots of the coverage from this news outfit favorable to the government. I don't have the permission, I don't have the information to say that they're PPP. I don't have it. But lots of what they do is supportive of what the government is doing. Right? When I saw this editorial, I put an asterisk. I see y'all in trouble now. I see y'all in trouble now. And after Jagdeo Obia with Ashwin backfire today, after the Obia backfire, the man went to the press conference angry. Take a look.
I saw Guyana Standard by Abina Rockcliffe, an editorial which says Norton was within his right. Hear me out. Right? And the editorial seeks to say that He's right to walk out because there was no consultation. This is a bullshit editorial. Nonsense. You were incompetent.
Yeah. You heard that? Folks, let us wrap up. I have the sneaky suspicion that Travis might be waiting for me to wrap up. So, you hear that? What a... He's channeling, you know. He's channeling the rage. Right? And then he's talking something about Muhammad, and he's so angry. He's venting in this press conference, and the reporter's got to sit there and endure this madness.
Like I said before, Taylor Swift got millions of people, maybe even more. I think is calculating that if he announces, then the US may be a little bit more, they don't want to maybe come after a politician, etc. It's to save his own ass. That's what he's trying to do. Not he cares a damn about anybody.
Say what? That's what press conference is reduced to now?
I think is calculating that if he announces, then the US may be a little bit more, they don't want to maybe come after a politician, etc. It's to save his own ass. That's what he's trying to do. Not he cares a damn about anybody.
Yeah. I think it's the vice president who is the one who's trying to save his own, derriere, posterior, whatever you want to call it. I think he's the one who's desperate and looking thin. Folks, let us leave it there tonight. Let us leave it there tonight. My God. That's what press conferences reduced in this country, being abused like that for 2-3 hours. My God. That's the time tonight, folks. And that's our program. Stay safe. Share the live as you're here. Smash that emoji button. We're going to see you on the other side of the evening, folks. Yep. We commend you to Travis's presentation on, I think, the autopsy findings. That's our time and that's our program. Stay safe. I'm heading over to see what's going on. Have a great evening.